There's so many songs out there telling us that really, truly, well, music is so confounding, so uplifting, really. And I'm saying this as a metalhead by choice. You need to stop giving up on you. There's so many songs about that for a reason. Welcome on back to another sip from the cup of positivity in greater deep dive detail. I'm Jenna O'Malley. It's good to see you. It's going to thunderstorm outside here shortly, so while you're settling in, let me go ahead and light a candle for us. It kind of feels appropriate. How are you? How's your week going? How's is? We've got weathered oak. Settle down a little bit, please and thank you. Do I need to trim wicks? I might want to trim wicks while we're letting that sit there, keeping us cozy during the storm. How is everybody? Go ahead, live or on the replay. Let us know how's is. So, on my main channel, Jenna the Soul Writer, we drew from the cup of positivity, and yes, Jess, hello. You did go ahead and send me your storm there. It's okay. We drew this quote last night. It's okay if you fall down and lose your spark. Just make sure that when you get back up, you rise as the whole dang fire. I had a lot of thoughts on this one. I think we're going to do this every week. Whatever I pull on Tuesday night is what we reflect on over here. The next day kind of feels appropriate. So definitely, it starts off with accepting your setbacks, right? I mean, are they really as bad as what we think they are? A lot of us are in research and development mode right now for a reason. Hello, Miranda. Speaking of someone who's rocking research and development mode, ma'am, cruising to... Do you have 100 subs yet? Or are we on the road too still? Because last I checked in, you were doing pretty good. Hello there, my friend. It's good to see you, Angela. So definitely it starts with looking at your setbacks. Are they really as bad as you think they are? We are our own worst critic, okay? When the roller coaster of life breaks down in our brains, who's probably the most upset about it and judgmental about it? The self, right? It's okay to normalize that you messed up. I grew up in a household where my dad was former Vietnam drill sergeant, and my wife, or his wife, my mom, raised 3 boys on her own before they met and got married. And she ran a tight ship. And he was expected, my dad, to get on that ship and stay on it. And then they had 2 more kids. So there was no such thing as a small mistake in that house growing up. And I think a lot of us who had those highly reactive parents are now remembering it's okay. And for some of us learning for the first time, if we mess up, it's okay. Just breathe. What can you do to fix it in the moment? I often like to go back to Bob Ross and Happy Little Trees. He has his happy little trees. 92? What? I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Wow, we're going to be throwing you a 100 sub party here soon, honey. Congratulations. Congratulations. See what I mean? And I'm sure you had your you just started about a year ago. Your first 100 is your sandbox mode, and you never get it back, it feels like. So enjoy. There's this whole nature to failing and falling, isn't there? I said roller coaster. Broken down. I mean, it sometimes gets broken down in the most, I don't want to say scary, but at least obnoxious of spots, because sometimes we cock our head to the side and go, okay, how do I get out of this? I got to think outside of the box. they're called patterned interrupts if you can program yourself to get used to them. Sometimes you can ask somebody else to be a patterned interrupt for you. A friend of mine in high school, Jamie, used to do this, and she did it for everybody. Mind you, Jamie is biracial, so her being dad is African American, mom is white. She would literally call you, insert your skin color here, crazy person mode. So for me, she would call me white girl crazy mode. Oh, I'm acting a little too extreme, chill out. So I always now, because of Jamie, say that's my inner white girl getting a little too cray-cray. I'm a 90s kid, deal with me here, right? So for those of you who understand that non-offensive slang, I had to program myself to Jamie myself a little bit with that nature of falling. And now there are times where I will literally say in my head, okay, crazy white girl mode needs to be over for the day. Don't hyperreact. Don't hyperreact, Jenna. It's okay. That was me earlier today with it raining. It's been off and on raining all day, and I stepped out on the patio and had to go change my shirt. Did not care that I got soaked and just silent cried in the rain. It was so romance novel, cringe cling, but I think I needed that moment to just go, today was rough. It's okay. Jess, you're at 14. You need to make more timers or something. You're too busy working on your series to do it. You are rocking it. You are rocking it. You make wheelchair jokes about yourself. See, I do this it's self-deprecating humor, but should we even really be doing it in the first place? You know, I mean, we're set back far enough. Is that setting us back further? Does that need to be part of our nature of falling? It's good to be realistic and to be able to, haha, laugh it off. That's different. Some of us, though, I worry, not talking from experience that I shouldn't have gained in the game of life here. Sometimes we joke about ourselves for the sake of making the negative jab. Sometimes our nature of falling is purposefully making ourselves look like the monster we feel on the inside when we're really not. That's a whole level of self-betrayal that does lead to the next point, losing your spark. Losing the spark starts at self-betrayal. How are you causing microaggressions against yourself by causing microaggressions in your environment? Not just how you interact with others, but even how you do and don't look yourself in the mirror. Or in my case, something that took me forever to get comfortable doing, staring at the camera when I'm talking. That's a nature of falling for me that I now I struggle to do more of, and I notice I'm doing more of. Little teeny tiny social cues start falling away. What are other signs of losing your spark? Are you more argumentative? Are you hangry more often? Are you sleeping in later? Are you staying up later? What other little teeny tiny isms that we might classically throw under the umbrella of bad hair day? Sometimes those are microaggressions against ourselves that leads to losing the spark. The importance of self-reflection. Here's where most of us are at. Instead of looking at everything you do wrong, start looking at everything you do right. So what, I woke up late today. Thank the divine I woke up. Should be what goes through my head in the morning. Not how late did I choose to sleep in today because depression won. That's a hard brain switch to get into. It starts with allocating your XP from life, aka reflection. Take time to, if you had a setback, look at what you did right. Because sometimes what you did right is what's going to lead you to getting out of the setback anyway. Sometimes you don't even need to look at what you did wrong to get out of that setback. And you kind of learn about a habit or a pattern, and kind of like how I did today. Open mouth, insert foot happened big time. And yeah, I got to start thinking, how am I going to not be that way when I get stressed out? What's the road to recovery here? More reflection, probably. Learning it's okay to call myself out without punishing myself, because I think a lot of us unrightly do that. This is from Yu Yu Hakusho. Is it? No. This is from Cowboy Bebop. Getting my shows all mixed up because I was hearing voice actresses in my head. This is from 3, 2, 1, let's jam. This is Cowboy Bebop. Probably not, but you think for me, a lot of us, it's a trauma response, sweetie. It's a programmed one. Little child us would not respond this way, would they? Teenager us might, is kind of where my brain went with some of my reflection. And some of us, though we may have healed our inner child, have we healed the inner teenager that came after might be the next question. Starting to think maybe make jokes because somewhere, yep, if this was me growing up. I grew up in a house of boys. And mind you, even though they made quite a bit of fun of how I look, they're the ones that are straight and married. Their wives are kind of built just like their little sister. And that's when they shut up on the fat jokes. Was when they realized deep down that's what they were attracted to and felt ashamed for it. When my eldest brother became a father of a little girl, I got an apology from him as a teenager. Because Samantha, his daughter, Sammy and I have a lot in common. Not only do we look a lot alike, literally, you put our baby pictures side by side. He said, my woman birthed my sister. This is uncanny. We're 3 days apart, birthday-wise. She's another Virgo. Sammy and I have a lot in common. And as she grew up, I got apologies from my brother. Because he heard her saying stuff I would say about me. I now know why your dad used to get so mad and say, don't teach her it's okay for a guy to think that about her. So, yeah. How many times do we beat the people to the punchline and punch ourselves to do it? You don't deserve that. Yes. Yep. I had somebody as a professor in college, in theater. She and her husband were both amazing because they both taught. He taught stage combat. She taught stage management. They were the perfect couple together in that way. And this was their way of dealing with self-deprecating jokes outside of a comedy act. It made a lot of people cry backstage before opening night stuff on purpose. Because they said, you can't take that stuff on stage. You got to leave it back here if it's bugging you. And I don't agree with that part of it. I don't agree. It's not authentic to rebuild and recover from your setback that way. Self-care is important, but you got to do something to heal that self-betrayal. Sometimes it's a matter of not forgiving another person. You have to probably, if you hurt a friend, you probably should apologize, and wholeheartedly so. Let's get real. If you messed up, own up to it. But also, what can you do to not be that friend? First and foremost, to yourself, because if you're like that to your friend, you're probably like that to yourself. And that reality check hit home hard. So rebuilding and recovery should be a kindness to yourself. And that kindness should be forgiveness, not a punishment, not a deprecation, because you can't spark the fire to rise as it again. You can't spark the fire until you give yourself a reason to see you're worth it. You're worth accepting it happened. You're okay. It didn't go as planned, so what? That's how you transform. That's how you even maintain the fire, is through reflection. So I have a reflective challenge homework for you. A lot of us, in some way with our life, as part of being in Sarah Cannon's HB90 or not, do vision boards, we do goal lists. She has you doing a ton of reflection from quarter to quarter. I want you to pause, and if you have it, go look at a vision board from a year ago. Miranda, hint, 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 go look at a vision board from a year ago. How many things that are on that vision board that you have now completed? A lot. A lot. If I were to even pull up the one that's on my phone now, there's only going to be one thing on here that didn't happen. And it's because my panel at Nebula in California got canceled. So I won't be going to Nebula this year, but maybe next year. So out of all of the tons of things I had planned behind this 2-3 months ago, I've done all but one. Should I slam myself for the one thing I didn't get done? Heck no. Instead, I should be thanking a letter to me from 2-3 months ago from even deciding to try and do it in the first place. Because now I know it's a possibility sometime in the future. The how is figured out. The if is figured out. It's just when at this point. And that's the part that I can leave in the hands of the divine. I.e., that's the part that's probably out of my control most because I didn't plan it. Do I have a ton of other amazing things to focus on and enjoy in the meantime? That's what maintaining the fire is all about. I see, like, for those of you who are fans of Studio Ghibli and you like Howl's Moving Castle, Calcifer needs to be kept given. He's literally a fire demon. He makes you quite aware that he is this all-powerful fire demon. Blah, 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 blah. But if you don't feed the fire, he's going to go out. What are you doing to feed your fire? Are you reflecting on the fact that we're talking about Calcifer here, so this is appropriate? Are you reflecting on what you did 3 months ago is at the heart of what you did now? Is what you did a year ago at the heart of what you did now? For some of you, it is. And I know you're not giving yourself the credit. You've been long overdue. So your homework is to go give yourself that credit. We normally write, thank you from way in future me to now. Go write a letter from you right now to you a year ago. Go maintain your fire. Don't give up. I look forward to seeing how you've rocked it.